Hey everybody, I'm Paul Baxter. We're here on the Daily Mastermind, and we're going to be talking specifically about starting or getting started with a consumer direct marketing strategy. And so today's presentation is very short. We're going to have a lot of time for masterminding at the end and discussing ideas, but what I want to do is kind of paint the picture and give you the building blocks that you need to get started in consumer direct marketing. So that being said, I've got a nice little presentation here. We're going to go ahead and dive right in, getting started with consumer direct. So you're basically holding up a little sign, hey, look at me, and you're looking for the people who are mortgage ready. Now, the first thing you have to think about when you start thinking about putting together a consumer direct approach, the very first thing is you have to think about exactly who your target is. You need to be very, very accurate and very specific on who your target is. What I have found in my experience in doing marketing and consumer direct approaches, and I've played with this over the years, is that broad targeting, hey, looking for a mortgage today, get in touch with me for all your needs. Those do not convert as well as specific targets. In other words, niches. Niche marketing to a consumer is very, very effective. Your conversion rates go through the roof. You're talking 30, 40, 50% conversion rates compared to those 5 to 10 to 12% conversion rates with those broad categories. Very important difference, because when you break it down, your conversion rate is how you quantify what your return on investment is. So in other words, with broad targeting, with these broader categories, you're going to spend a whole lot of money for very little return on that investment. Yes, it will produce some results for you. I'm not going to say that it won't. But your results will be your conversion, you have to hit a much higher number of people to get them to convert to your offer with a broad category. Whereas with a specific niche, you're going to hit a much lower target audience, but their conversion rate is going to be much higher. Therefore, your expenditure, what you spend on the ad, is much lower because you're specifically targeting and you're converting at a higher rate. Does that make sense to everybody, why it's important to, when you're talking about a consumer direct approach, to focus on the niches? And that's not to say that you can only do one. You can create a consumer direct approach for all these different niches, and there's much more consumer direct approaches than just what we're talking about here today and this week. But you can do things like employee benefits programs for consumer direct approaches. You can tap into your past client database. That's a whole other strategy in and of itself. What we're talking about is getting in front of people who don't yet know who you are. And it's much easier to do it with niches because your conversion rate is much higher. It therefore costs less money to do this kind of advertisement. Now, some of the niches, and I've just put a couple of them up here, and that's what I'm talking about at the end of today's presentation. We're going to mastermind on some of these ideas, but some of the ones that popped into my head right off the bat are like the FHA 203K. It makes it easy to create the bait, so to speak, and we'll talk about that in the next slide. But FHA 203K, that makes my ads, I start thinking automatically of what my draw will be. Hey, are you looking to buy a home that needs a little refurbishment? Are you looking to buy that home you can put your heart and soul into? Check out a great way to, here's all the information on a great program that can help you get the extra money you need to put that love in the home you're looking for. Short and sweet, and that's just brainstorming on some ideas. USDA, again, that's another niche that people specifically that are looking to purchase rural property, they're going to be looking. They know that what's out there and what's available. They're specifically going to be looking for that, and if you can trigger them with some sort of free offer that has to do with that, you're going to convert at a much higher rate than people that don't even know what that means or what that kind of a scenario or program is used for. Reverse mortgages, again, another huge niche that is really a very easy. Reverse makes it very easy in terms of coming up with your audience because it's a demographic that you can put some very limited demographics on and really be touching a big portion of your target audience. A vast majority of the 65 plus that are qualified for a reverse mortgage are homeowners. And so that program or product that's so undereducated in the senior segment that a lot of people, and right now, you guys probably know this as well as I do, the television is being inundated with multiple companies doing reverse mortgage commercials. So people are asking questions. It's a hot topic item right now. Really, really, a really good niche if you're looking to put some fast loans in the pipeline. 62 plus, not 65 plus. Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate that. VA loans. We've talked about this for years, and you guys know about VA loans. That's been a special thing that's been available and a niche that a lot of people have worked for a lot of time. Well, right now, with what's going on in the U.S. government, our president is bringing a lot of our troops, or trying to bring a lot of our troops back home from overseas, and a lot of those guys are finishing up their tours or their stint in the armed services and are now going to put down roots in places where they're landing in the U.S. That's, more and more military people are coming in on a regular basis and are looking to purchase homes and put down their roots. Big niche right there. And one that's really easy to tap into because very few are doing it. That in reverse, very few even know about or offer that to be able to do. So it's a good niche to be able to get in front of consumers very, very readily and, in my opinion, very easily. All right, so once you've chosen what your niche is, once you've determined what you're specifically going to target, the next portion is to create your cheese. Before you do your squeeze page, before you set up how you're going to capture information, how you're going to generate that lead, you need to create the bait, so to speak. Because what that does is it makes it so that when your bait and your offer page or your squeeze page mimic each other, they're relevant to one another. They have the same keywords and things in it that trigger that response from the target, which is to give them your email address or give you their email address. You're exchanging this piece of cheese or bait in exchange for your email address and first name or whatever it may be that you've got on your squeeze page. And we will talk about what goes on there. Simpler is more important. We'll talk about that. But make sure that you've created that cheese before, or that bait before you go to set up that page. So what is your cheese? It's your bait. It's what is your enticement to get them to fill out your information? Is it insider information that you should know about how to get extra money on your loan for refurbishment? Is it a free report for first-time home buyers to avoid all of the pitfalls of purchasing a home? Protect yourself. Is it a frequently asked questions that all veterans should know the answers to before they talk to their lender? Is it find out if the home you love, or find out if you qualify for a USDA loan? Whatever it is, whatever your free offer is, whatever that shiny whistle, so to speak, or that object is that you're looking to give to them in exchange for their report. Create that first. That is one of the major building blocks of putting together a consumer direct approach, because if it does work, you need to have that readily available. You need to have it easily accessible to those that raise their hand and say that they want it. So create that first. So the next step or next building block is you need to know exactly where you're going to, choose your stage. Where are you going to build that squeeze page? Where are you going to build that landing page? Where are you going to make that form sit so that when they click your offer, they've got a nice easy form. It's an easy way for you to get notification of the information. It's an easy way for it to trigger the response or get the free thing that you wanted to give them on, whether it be a confirmation or a thank you page. You want to make it easy. So you've got to choose where are you going to build your stage. A couple of that you and I, the people on this class and I have talked about. If you haven't, we haven't talked about it before, check out some of our previous classes, one specifically on using Google Drive forms. We've talked about using Weebly. Weebly is a free website builder that does have a forms section and allows you to build out squeeze forms and pages right there on Weebly for free. It does include a notification section. It even gives you the opportunity to create your own confirmation page where you can link them to your download or to get your free report or whatever the case may be. Some of you on the call are using agent marketing. Agent marketing is the old e-property sites stuff. If you're using agent marketing, my goodness, that's a super easy place to build out your niche marketing landing pages. Here's the cool thing about it on agent marketing is not only does it have the ability to build out the squeeze page that you want to do, it has the ability to set up the confirmation email like you want it to do with the free download and everything like that, but you can also set it up for auto sequences. If you want to set up a sequence of 4 or 5 or 6 emails to go out over a period of time, which by the way, that's one of the 3 things that I'm going to be covering tomorrow as an essential piece to the puzzle is your follow-up plan, your ongoing follow-up plan to convert them, or your funnel, so to speak. I like to call it a funnel because that's really what it is. The first step is just getting them to the mouth of the funnel. Everything else you do after that brings the sale. So agent marketing is one of those places that you can use, and you can create all those pieces right into the same thing. Greg's saying BombBomb has pretty cool landing pages that you can add a personal video to as well. So yeah, I was going to say that some of the others like Aweber, BombBomb, I believe that MailChimp even has a place to create, they call them opt-in pages because that's their whole goal is to get people to opt into the emails. But yeah, you can, if you're using one of those services, they absolutely have the ability to create those landing pages for you. The key elements on your landing pages are going to be, again, your cheese, get your bait, get your cheese together, be able to deliver the message of your cheese in a really short and concise fashion, and we're going to cover this in detail tomorrow, trust me, and deliver that cheese, and then how do you follow up with them to convert them, lead them through the funnel, so to speak. Certified Military Housing Specialist. Jeff is saying everyone should check out usacares.org and find out when their next class will be conducted. It covers all VA benefits to veterans, not just the loans, but all their benefits. And being able to relay that and be educated on the benefits to veterans, that only behooves each one of you. So you've got to choose, the next building block is that you've got to choose where it is that you're going to create your landing page, and make sure that it's a place where you can not only have a landing page, but you've got the ability to get a notification of when somebody triggers it, and you have the ability to deliver the free thing that you're offering them, or deliver the cheese when you want to. So now the next building block for creating or doing a consumer direct approach is how are you going to deliver your landing page to your audience? How will you get it in front of them? So for me, with landing pages especially, I think we are gifted enough to have access to a tool called Facebook, and Facebook makes it very, very easy to run advertisements to its 185 million United States users. It makes it so easy to do. Now the cool thing is it also has really, really robust demographic systems inside of it. And for consumer direct targeting, again, we don't want just broad categories. We want very specific demographics that we can target, specifically veterans of U.S. Armed Forces, where we can target specifically people that live in zip codes that are in neighborhoods that the infrastructure is maybe a little bit older, and we know because the home is built in 1950 or 1960 or 1970 that that home may need some more refurbishment, and so that area would be a perfect area to target with a loan product that has to do with additional funds for refurbishment. Okay, so those kinds of demographics are things that you can use in addition to the custom audience aspect that you can do. You can do specific audiences. If you've got a list of teachers in your local market area and you've got a Homes for Heroes product, why not do an ad to only your list of teachers for that specific niche product? Finding seniors groups is a huge way to get in front of the specific people that you want utilizing those demographics. So Facebook is probably the easiest, best platform with the largest audience and the easiest demographics to use. Google AdWords, you can also do Google advertisement with these squeeze forms. Just know that they don't convert as highly as a Facebook targeted ad, and the reason being is because the ad space is much more prevalent. People are used to seeing ads on Google. Yes, they generate 2 to 7% more click-throughs than the organic results on a page, but they do still generate clicks. So you can convert that way. It's just not as high as a conversion rate as on Facebook. And obviously direct mail can work, but keep in mind direct mail can be very costly. But again, it works the same way. It's just about having a cool offer, giving them a directive on how to get the cool free thing, and exchanging that cool free thing for them raising their hand saying, I want it. That gives you that opportunity for follow-up. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So those are the three main ways that we're going to focus on how to get it out. And we'll talk about the specifics, but that's the building block. Decide where are you going to focus on. And you can test against one another and do kind of a split test, do one ad on Facebook, one on Google, and see which one outperforms the other. That's going to be more of your advanced user or the person that's been doing this a little while. I don't recommend that you jump right in off the bat and plan on doing 2 separate ads in 2 separate places and analyzing the results. That's a lot of paying attention, looking at, following up, making sure, checking your statistics, doing the it's time consuming, and quite frankly I don't think it's not the best use of your time right off the bat. Generate the ads. Start doing it in one place, and I'm going to recommend Facebook as the starting point. Start doing it there. Start by putting out, get your cheese ready, get your bait ready, put an ad out there. Based on the conversion rate, maybe tweak a couple of words here or there and do it again and see if it converts better. Ooh, if it converts worse, go back to the old words and maybe change the color of the font a little bit with the background color. And then switch it up until you get that conversion rate that you think, you know what, that's hitting on all cylinders. Now they're getting my message. Switch up how you deliver the cheese and make it shorter and shorter every time until you get to that real short, nice, easy message that's delivering what you got, the benefit, and they're converting, they're asking for it. Once you've done that in one place and you've made that ad hum, now you start doing your split tests. Now you start trying it in other places to see if it converts the same. Now you start reaching out the demographics a little further based on the results that you've already got. You've already tweaked your ad and made it great. Now you can reach out and start tweaking and doing some other things, and that makes it so that your cost stays in a way that you're not breaking the bank. The worst thing that can happen is you jump right into a consumer direct approach. You go out there, you get this great stuff, you spend $300 in a month and you get 0 leads off of it. Or you spend $800 in a month and you get 2 leads and neither one of them turns into a loan. That's not that's not how this is supposed to work. What you're supposed to, you need to slowly go into it and tweak until you start getting those conversion rates and you start seeing that people are responding better to this message. Or when I had the video on there, I got this many more conversions. If I just put this 2 words under the video, then it converted this much more. Things like that. So you'll play with it as you go and then start split testing it against other platforms. Those are the building blocks for creating a consumer direct marketing approach. You have to be ready to prepare for your success. You have to prepare for your success. These building blocks support your funnel, and if your building blocks are not set up, if you don't prepare your building blocks the right way, if you don't know where you're going to be, where you're going to, if you don't know where you're going to put the ad once you've got your cheese built, if you don't have the cheese itself or the bait ready to go when somebody responds to it, what happens is you get bottlenecks in your funnel. When you get bottlenecks in your funnel, nothing comes out of the end of it. And the purpose of having a funnel is so that you put a whole bunch of stuff in the top and the true buyers fall out the bottom. Well, if you end up with a bottleneck, nothing comes out the bottom, and that's why it's important to make sure that your building blocks, your support, your base is ready to support the entire weight of whatever you put into the top of it so that it doesn't clog itself up and you can go from there. So that's it for our presentation today. The key building blocks are be specific, choose a specific niche that you're going to market. Get your cheese ready to go. Get your free gift, whatever it is you're giving away. Get that ready to roll, already set up, ready to go when somebody responds. Make your decision. Choose where you're going to get your squeeze page set up, how you're going to set it up, where you're going to set it up. Get your stuff, get it ready to go. Choose where you're going to market it once you've got it all the pieces ready to go. And you'll have the building blocks or the foundation of creating a really great consumer direct marketing approach. Now what we're going to do tomorrow is specifically I'm going to give you the 3 specific things for your funnel, the actual funnel piece. We're going to talk about how to set that funnel up so that when you set these building blocks up, you've got the funnel to go with it and you can flick the switch and make it start humming. So today, guys, some of the things I wanted us to do at the end of the presentation today is just discuss some of the specifics. First and foremost, what are some other niches that you guys can think of that you could market directly to a consumer? Or what are some things that you think, like when you speak to your buyers, when you guys have those opportunities and you speak to your buyers, do you ask them, was there anything specific that you had heard on the internet, or what caused you to choose to purchase a home at this time in your life? Start figuring out those demographics. Tell me, what are some of the niches that people are looking for above and beyond what I've got here? Or are there niches within niches? Is there a specific person, first of all, is anybody on this call, does anybody on the call not have one of the products that you see up on the screen? Like, can anybody not do VA loans in their business? Anybody? I think everybody does VA loans. Now, I know not everybody does reverse mortgages. Who on the call does not do reverse mortgages currently? A few of you. Okay. Is it because the company doesn't offer it, or is it just a product you don't know the specifics on? Or is it not a product you want to offer? It can be that too. This company stopped offering it. Not sure, so it's more likely just something that you don't want to offer. Doesn't offer. Company doesn't offer. Correct. Okay. Okay. The reason I ask that is because it's become such a big. So what is, I think the statistic is 10,000 baby boomers turn eligible age every single day in the U.S. That's a huge number. And I think, see, for me, when I look at what reverse does and what I know about it, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to be the most educated on how reverse mortgage works or what all it does, but when I look at it in its kind of the 50,000 foot view, I don't believe that it's great for every person, but I think it could be a fantastic product for the person that is in a position that they're retiring currently and they only have, let's say, 10 years or 5 years or less. They don't have a sufficient retirement fund because, let's face it, what is it? What is the government program that they were, I can't even think of the name of it. Anyway, they need to be prepared for 30 years of retirement, and they're not financially in that position. Now, I don't, I know some of the thought is, well, I wanted to leave the house to the kids, and listen, my parents are in that age group now that's one of the things. We had a conversation about it a year ago. They were talking about all these things and asked all the kids' opinion. I was like, you know what, why don't you guys sell the house now, get yourselves a little condo that you're renting, and live off the additional equity, because they've got equity like crazy in the home. They've been in the same home for 30, what would it be? It would be 33 years they've been in the same home now. They own it outright. It's in an area of Orlando that is absolutely blown up. They're not looking to leave the house to the kids. We're not looking for any kind of any kind of thing like that. Inheritance, I guess, is what you would call it. If they weren't set up for retirement for the next 10 or 15 or 20 more years, then I would think a reverse mortgage would be a perfect product for them, because they keep their home. They pay the property tax, they pay the insurance, and other than that, they're good. They use the equity. They could use the extra how many ever tens of thousands of dollars to enjoy their retirement, to live comfortably, to not worry about pension pennies because they're on a fixed income. So I think it's a great product for the right person, but not for everybody. Again, I don't believe that it's ready for everybody or good for everybody, but with the right education, I think it's a product that we're all missing out on. And I didn't mean to get on a tangent about reverse mortgage, but I think it's a product that boy, it really is a niche that's out there that can generate a substantial amount of revenue for you. So few of you, even on this call, I think I maybe have 2 of you on the call that are doing or able to do or willing to do reverse mortgages. Think about just in your living area, and just in the area that you live in, how many tens of thousands of homeowners are over the age of 62 in your area that it would make a major beneficial difference in their life to set up a reverse mortgage on their home. That's not bad. I mean, and it generates you a handsome income as well. And it's about education. The 203K loans, the FHA 203K, yes, they are a pain. But I think also with that, Jeff, that's, we're living in a day and age that a lot of the United States infrastructure is starting to be in a place of need for repair. That goes for the homes as well, and there's some great homes, and people could really benefit from it. I don't think it's right for every situation, but it could be a benefit. As big a pain in the butt as it is, How beneficial would it be to have a specific set of standards that, like a checklist, you could go through to make that happen? So those are some good ones. What about some other ones, guys? What are some other niches that we could focus on? It's a specific product. To do well, you would need to direct most of your time to it. That makes sense to me, Bill. It absolutely does. Also, it's a trust issue you need to overcome. Bad press and the kids involved make it hard to sell unless you're ready to devote the needed time. And it's, like I said, it's education, and yeah, it does require it. You'll get people to respond, but it requires you educate them from that point. Yeah, it's a big payday on them. I mean, that's one of the cool things. Okay, so Greg's getting ready to be able to roll that out. His company's preparing to roll that out. And yes, you're right. The riches are in the niches. That's that. For us, so I'm a statistics guy. You guys know me. I like to look at statistics, and I think about them in as logical a fashion as I possibly can. And so when I look at the statistics that the National Association of Realtors comes out with, I kind of look at them and skew them to my own benefit, or think about them in terms of what does that mean to me. So when National Association of Realtors came out and said 97% of people start their home search online, agreed. I absolutely agree with that 97% of people are starting their home search online. They also stated that 88% of those people, the step 2 is to contact a real estate professional. That is step 2. They either go to a website, they click on a squeeze page, fill out a form, they pick up the phone and call, they go to an office, they go to an open house, whatever that is. Step 2, one of those forms is contacting a real estate agent. That means that out of the 100% of people that did their search online, 88% of them searched for an agent first or did something with an agent first. That leaves us 12%. Well, in my mind, that makes sense, because I'm figuring about 12 to 20% of the population that are purchasing a home today qualify for a special program, a VA loan. The home is in a rural area, so it's USDA available. Maybe they're first-time home buyers, they qualify for FHA. Whatever the case may be, only 12% of the home buyers qualify for a special niche loan, which is why that 12% isn't looking for an agent first. They know that they fall into a different category, so they're looking for a lender that can help them with their special need, with their specific need. We're not trying to tap into every home buyer. That's not going to work for us. They're not looking for us in that way. We're looking for the people that are looking for something very specific. They have a very specific need in their home buying want. They want to know, do they qualify for a VA loan? They want to know, is the house they're looking for in a USDA area, and what does that mean to them? How do they qualify for that? Or whatever the case may be. And that's why I'm saying, what are some other program type niches that would be specific to a first-time home buyer or specific to a family? Are there people out there that are doing the home tax credit? What is that credit? There is the mortgage home credit. You got to apply for it, but it's pretty easy to get, and then it gives you, a few $100s off. Financial planners and CPAs, those are all referral partners. Those are absolutely referral partners, Bill. But I don't know that those are niches that we can directly target consumers for, or create ads that allow us to directly target a consumer. I think the big ones are like the VA loan ones. I think first-time home buyer information, that will get you a whole lot of people, because people that are purchasing a home for the first time, they're going to do as much research as they can, and they will search out things they will trigger on things that touch their reciprocal activator when they see an ad that says, looking to buy your first home, don't do it without all the info, and you're giving out a free report. That will definitely trigger that squeeze for you. Definitely trigger that squeeze for you. Yeah, and see, James, going back to the reverse mortgage, James says they have reduced the percentage. A lot of the financial advisors did not understand reverse mortgages and do not advise their clients to get a reverse mortgage. I can't agree more. I was talking to, I can't remember her name, but she was getting started in a reverse mortgage program, and one of the first places we started targeting was the financial planners, and we did it in a way that was, instead of going to them and saying, hey, do you have anybody that may be interested in a reverse mortgage, it was, hey, Mr. Financial Planner, did you know that a reverse mortgage does this and this and this? And he broke down a couple of different specific advantages that a reverse mortgage would do that would enable that financial planner to invest more of those people's money in a positive, not invest in a positive way, but give them more access to be able to plan their money and their future in a little bit different way without losing the home. It's an education thing. And so that's basically the approach, was not, hey, do you have anybody looking for a reverse mortgage? Hey, let me help educate you, Mr. Financial Planner, on what all the specifics are that would give you a more educated way to instruct your clients as to whether or not it's a benefit to them. So it's approach in an education way, and not ever ask for a referral, but say, hey, let me show you some of the cool new things that are happening with this so that you understand some of the benefits in case you have people that this would help greatly. Does anyone know about the HAWK program, Homeowners Armed with Knowledge? I have not heard of that yet. Anybody else out there heard of HAWK, H-A-W-K, Homeowners Armed with Knowledge? My challenge has always been writing the free report, writer's block. Let me ask you a question. And Greg, I'm glad you brought that up. And we're going to cover this in depth a little bit more tomorrow. But writing the free report is your writer's block. So here's the thing. The first thing you do is you come up with what cheese do you want to give out. Let's say you want to give a free report of the pitfalls to look out for as a first-time home buyer, right? Let's just pretend that that's what your free report's going to be about, is the pitfalls to avoid as a first-time home buyer. So if I were to call you up, Greg, and I called you up this afternoon and I said, hey, Greg, my name's Paul Baxter. I'm looking to buy a house. It's over in the Kalamazoo area, Greg. The house is $200,000. I've never bought a house before. Can I ask you a few questions, or can you, just give me some of the ins and outs? What do I need to know in order to buy this house I found over in Kalamazoo? If I asked you that question, would you be able to answer it and just rattle off some things to me? Well, Paul, the first thing you need to do is you need to get pre-approved for a specific amount. To get pre-approved, some of the things we need to have are, I need to have your past, what you're currently making. I need to know where you currently lived, how long you've lived there. I need to know if you're moving in with somebody. Are you married? Are you single? Do you have children? You need to know some very specific things, right? You'd be able to, that's what you're going to tell me. Paul, the other thing you're going to need to have or need to know about purchasing a home is once you've got a pre-approval or you're pre-approved for a certain amount, we're going to make an offer to the buyer or to the seller of the home, and the seller has the opportunity to either accept our offer or to deny it. And a lot of times, if they deny it, they'll deny it with a condition or accept it with a condition, maybe this extra thing or that extra thing. And that's what's going to be the next step. Once that happens, we're going to process everything and get you set up for a specific closing date. Your closing date is when you actually, are going to take ownership of the home. When you close on a home and take ownership, you're going to sign a lot of documents, including a title and a deed and all these good things. This is what's all going to, you're going to be able to tell me that if I called you up and asked you those questions over the phone, right? So just pretend that the phone rang and you have to answer the three most basic, or the three questions you get asked the most. Just think of those questions, those three questions you get asked the most, and that becomes your free report. It's just you talking. And so I understand what you're saying with writer's block. The way to get over that is, for your free report, think of the things they're going to ask you if they called you on the phone, and answer those basic questions. Short, sweet, to the point. You can make it as long-lived as you can make it 50 pages if you want. Nobody's going to read it. You can make it 3 pages. Very few are still going to read it. You just need to have some sort of free offer that makes them think they're getting something, makes them feel as if they're getting something of value from you in exchange for you getting their email or their web address, or getting in contact with them. Absolutely. Home equity conversion mortgage. That's HECM. Very familiar with HECM. That's reverse for purchase. Yep. And so James is saying he does reverse mortgage. He says, I have borrowers buying a new construction home using the HECM program for about 55% of the purchase price. That's fantastic, James, and that's really cool that you're able to do that on a purchase property too, which is even better. That's awesome, man. That lets that builder know that you can do some things that others can't as well. Make sure that you leverage that you're able to do that. Make sure you have that conversation with that builder. Hey, by the way, did you know we're purchasing this through a program that not everybody offers? If you ever have any other seniors that come in that maybe, don't want to spend that much, send them my way. I'll be more than happy to, talk to them about how they could maybe purchase at, and finance only 55%, or whatever, however you want to present that. That's great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. And that was the other thing I wanted us to kind of brainstorm about today, and you already kind of led us into that, Greg, a little bit, is creating your cheese. I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and I just did for a brief moment, but just to kind of reiterate, your cheese is your knowledge, guys. Your free report, your free information, your frequently asked questions, we're going to talk about what to name it and how to get people to want it. But what it boils down to is it's the knowledge that's in your head. It's the information that you already know. It's the information that you would deliver if somebody called you up out of the blue and asked for it. You're just putting it in front of them and making them ask for it, as opposed to sitting and waiting for them to ask for it, if that makes sense. That's what your cheese is. It doesn't need to be some long, a big letter. Shoot, I know some people that their cheese is frequently asked questions about for first-time home buyers, and all they do is when the person puts the squeeze form in, their confirmation page says, thank you so much. To get the free information you're looking for, click the link below. When they click the link below, it takes them to the, I can't remember if Fannie Mae website, to the frequently asked questions there. It just links them to what's already on the internet. I wouldn't recommend that being your stuff, but certainly copy and paste it. Take it, make it your own. Take some of the excerpts from it and bullet points, and make that your free report. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It can be a 5-minute video of you looking in the camera and answering the same questions. that works too. And a lot of the times, shoot, with most internet marketers, look around on Facebook and click on some of these internet marketer ads that you see. That's what you get is that, you know, click here for your free download. You get there, it says get your download, get, you know, put a valid email here to get your free download. You put your email in, and it redirects you to a page with a video that starts. That's what it is. It's how they got me there and led me to that. They gave me really good cheese, and they delivered the cheese. It was exactly what they said it was going to be. I don't feel bad about putting my information in. It was good stuff. It was a video. It was delivered in the form of a video, so you can do those things as well. Building out your squeeze pages. I know that sounds very tough and diligent, and oh, gotta build a web page. It's much easier than you think it is. And we can walk through some step-by-step on some of that stuff, but it's much easier than you think it is, guys. It doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, simpler is better. With the less you put on a page, I have found the more conversions you get. If I can deliver my message and get somebody interested in clicking in one sentence, I'd rather have just one sentence and my one link there on the entire page, and that's it. Less is more when it comes to squeeze pages and landing forms, guys. And I see it all the time. We want to put our big logos on there, and we want to have our banners and our flash this and our big red arrows pointing to that, and I want to have it where my video's over here, and it says when I say go to the over on the left-hand side, and that's where it sits, and underneath that I got 4 other things. It gets lost. Your offer gets lost, and therefore your squeeze pages don't convert as well. I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of time and effort on creating these big elaborate squeeze pages that all was needed was something simple, and all that time you spent building the elaborate squeeze page, it's not converting for you because it's too much, and it's having the opposite effect. And you've wasted that much time, and you feel like it's not working for you because it's not converting the way it should. When you spent all this time on your conversion page, simpler is better. Paul, you said this before, but give me the brand name of a good wireless microphone to use for videos to buy from Amazon. It depends on what kind of camera you are using. James, what are you using as your video recording camera? The Samsung Note cell phone. I'm going to take us out of the PowerPoint. We're going to go live. I don't know that they've got a good wireless microphone for the Samsung Note. Let's find out. These are Bluetoothers. Let's see. Yep, the wireless lavalier. This is it right here. This is it right here, the wireless lavalier. Don't see a brand name on this. Wireless Lav Galaxy. Do they have that on Amazon? Yep, that's the same one. It's this is the same one on Amazon. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to send you this link on the chat thingy real quick here. You know what? That's funny. So Greg comes in with, I was wondering the same thing for the Samsung Galaxy. Notice that the link, this is for both. The Note and Galaxy, it's the same lavalier microphone. So it's for the Galaxy. This is for Galaxy and Note products. Anything new out for iPhone 5? I saw something. Short answer, Bill, I think so. I don't know if it's a wireless microphone or if it's this little thing that gets added to external microphones for iPhone 5. There you go. So yeah, you could, now the Audio Technica is not working for you. It's showing to use the iPhone Technica. That's the first one it's showing in here. You know what? It's showing the same one. That same one I was just showing them will work for iPhone 5 and iPad. You just got to buy. They've got the exact same one. Here, I'll send you the link to this one too. That's the exact same one. I don't know if you noticed that or not. Where did it go? There's a wired one. There's a wired one. Have you ever thought of maybe using a wired one, Bill? That one's only 60, 70 bucks. That's a wired one. There's another wire. Oh, that's just a boom mic. You would plug. This one's kind of cool. See, check this one out, Bill. This one right here. You would plug that into where the microphone is, and this is the actual microphone, so it actually stays connected. It's kind of like a boom mic. I mean, it's cool looking, not what you're looking for, but cool nonetheless. Oof. It's showing the same thing on Google. It's showing on Google kind of the same thing, but then Amazon is not showing the same thing for the microphone, or for the lavalier microphone. That pile one, that one looks like junk. That's not a great one. All right, guys, girls, that is it for today. I hope everybody learned a little something. Please join me tomorrow. We are going to go into the three steps to having and creating your successful consumer direct marketing program. 3 steps for creating your consumer direct approach. We'll go in depth and some of the specifics, more specifically what you put on the squeeze page, more specifically about the follow-up portion of it, and then very specifically about how you convert that into a person that wants to do business with you. Guys, girls, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. And remember, we are the Mortgage Mastermind Group, and we are here to help you grow. Have a fantastic day, everybody.